welcome to the In a Nutshell podcast with myself, Andrew Davis, and my co-host, Chris Branch, the daily 10-minute podcast where we take out all of the techie talk around generative AI and focus on what the everyday person, content creator, and marketer wants to hear. Now, we've only got 10 minutes, and this is also the first one of the year, so Happy New Year, everybody. So what we want to do, just like typically you get in all marketers, we want to start our first few podcasts this year with our predictions. What we think is going to be big over the next 12 months in AI. Now, if we had to do this from last year, we probably never would have guessed how far it's come in such a short space of time.
No chance.
Yeah, so what we want to do, we're going to have predictions, and it'll be fun, Chris, if in next December we'll go back to these episodes and see how correct we actually
and laugh at ourselves,
and laugh. We're like, how primitive? Why were we thinking so small? Where you never know what happens. But what we're going to do is going to be a few episodes because there's a few things that we want to talk about. But there's going to be 2 or 3 where we're just going to focus on one subject, and then there's going to be one episode where we're just going to showcase quite a lot of things because there's so many different areas. But today, we're going to focus on one topic that we both agreed is going to be very, very popular this year. So, Chris, let the viewers and the listeners know our first prediction.
Yeah, so we're going easy out the gate because obviously we've already seen this in 2023, the build-up of generative video and the different platforms that are getting involved in that. Now we've got Facebook/Meta in the mix. We've got a runway company. We've got one called Pika Labs, and we've got others that are all showing really good progress in generative video. Yeah. And we never saw it coming, at the speed of generative images. So the reason I say it's easy is because we're already seeing it out the gates. It's not like it's a new prediction or anything like this. It's just that we believe this is going to really rapidly advance this year, to the point where it may even be the topic of the year in generative AI video.
Yeah, so generative AI video, we think is going to be a huge breakthrough. I think last year, 2023 was all about the chatbots and the likes of ChatGPT. I think also image generation played a very big part. And I think towards the end of the year, audio, especially around language
and music.
Translation and music. But one of the predictions is video. Now, I think there's different areas of where we actually think it will go when it comes to video. So I think, the first thing we can look at is the length. So right now, let's say, for example, what one do you mainly use when it comes to videos at the moment?
I'm a mixture between Runway and Pika, depending on, the movement and stuff that we need, because the way that you use it right now, just for people that are totally unaware, is you've got both text to video where you type in a prompt and then it produces some video out of thin air. Otherwise, we mostly use what's called image to video. So we're taking our keyframe images from Midjourney, an art generator, and then adding like maximum 4 seconds of animation using Runway or Pika Labs, depending on the type of animation we want to get. Because Runway has the ability to do something called motion brush, which means that you can use a particular part of that image to animate, and Pika's better at overall, just making things look smooth. Yeah. So it depends on which one. But 4 seconds maximum. And then you can extend it to 16 seconds in Runway, but it loses a lot of the coherency after 4 seconds.
A lot of the quality, yeah. So what you've got there is, January is about 4 seconds. Where do you reckon it will go to?
Oh, that's the prediction. It's like, it could be 15 seconds. It could be 1 minute. Really, it depends on, do you need 1 minute? Is that a market need to get 1 minute clips entirely generated in one sequence? Or will people prefer to use stuff like CapCut to, chop between faster edits of stuff? It's hard to know, honestly. But the reason I think it will be so big is look at the predictions in social itself. Like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, they're all short form video content. Yeah. And that's where the attention is right now in social, and that's what AI is about to unlock, is the potential to make those videos from scratch.
I think that's a good point there, because I saw it actually from a different point of view. I was thinking, I wonder if it's going to be longer to get people who can make those short form films that might be 2, 3, 5, 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
But obviously, then the other side, the flip side is that you've got YouTube Shorts, you've got TikTok, you've got
Yep.
Instagram Reels, like who really are focusing on anything under 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's actually it's going to be interesting. I think pretty much by the end of the year, it'll go up to a minute, but then I think people will stack. So they'll just have like 10 different programs running and they'll do one for 1 minute and then they'll just continue it on the next program and the next program if they want to make some of the long ones, just because of the amount of space it's going to take. And obviously for the software companies or the platforms, the cost of
And the
hosting
time
that
it takes to do
and the
it, like, so one of the platforms we've tried before is called Kyber, spelled Kaiber. Now that one's interesting because mostly it's video to video, and you can upload up to 4 minutes worth of video and have the whole thing change. Now that's different than image to video, where it's like, animating a keyframe. So it depends on what type of video you're making and stuff.
Yeah.
But Kyber might be able to upload, full feature length films and animate them. Like,
Wow.
imagine that.
Yeah,
That's a similar, 11 Labs just produced this thing where you can do whole books now.
Yeah.
And
I mentioned that on a previous podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a game changer. You've gone from short paragraphs of text like a tweet, then you've gone to like essay length stuff. Now you've got an entire book that you can upload to this thing. So imagine when you can upload like a Lord of the Rings movie and then have it Disney-fied or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Which kind of goes into the second one, because I think length is one of them. I think another area is going to be quality.
Yeah.
And that is, are we going to get to the point where, let's say on images, you can type in whoever, the Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, or Beyonce, or Eminem, or whoever, and it looks exactly like them, especially with Midjourney 6 that's come out, which is another podcast we need to talk about, by the way. Imagine what's going to happen in video. Like, I wonder how close they're going to get in video, because are we going to get to the point where we're going to be watching stuff and we don't know whether or not this is real, AI generated, or a mixture of both, but you can't even tell the difference?
And we talked about the American elections this year, right? And that's going to be a big issue. If it gets to the point where Donald Trump can be as realistically generated in video as anything else, the misinformation and whoever the opponents are, that's all going to go crazy.
Yeah.
So it's scary to think about that, actually, because that video revolution may come before the election.
Yeah, and that's mid-year. I think that is going to be a big thing when it comes to video. When we talk about, because the elections is another prediction, one of the things that we will talk about in a future episode. But I think the quality is going to be interesting. That's for me is going to be really what's going to make video go to that next level. I still think when it comes to video, we're not at the stage where I type in a prompt and it create an episode of The Fresh Prince, and then create an episode of The Fresh Prince.
Oh, we're nowhere
near that. So I'm seeing some people talk about video predictions, and they're saying soon we'll be able to type in a prompt of The Simpsons and stuff like that. We can create our own episodes. Personally, I don't think we will be there by the end of the year. Maybe next year, maybe the year after, but I don't think we will get to that stage of quality.
But I heard a really good episode, by the way, and they described that threshold as the uncanny valley, and I love that description. Yeah, because they said that version 6 of Midjourney has officially crossed the uncanny valley, where some of the images look so real and raw that you've got no idea now, like that they're not, real people. Like the photorealism and just the overall, like you'd need to look deeply into an image to discover that it's not actually a photo.
Exactly.
Crazy. It's actually
and that there's a bonus prediction that we'll add to that episode, because I think that's something where, especially if we talked about AI image generators, by the end of the year, I think we won't even know the difference.
No,
we won't even know the difference. But video, I still feel that it's this. I don't think video is going to be at the stage where what we would think in our mind, because what we've seen with image, like, i.e. we can prompt something and it creates, or we can get it really, really amazing immediately. I still think it's going to be a lot of work, but I think what's going to happen this year, 2 areas, is going to be the length of how much you can create is going to increase, and the quality is going to get a lot better. And
Yeah.
it's not gonna look. I think also towards the end of the year, it won't look like this is AI generated, and I think that's gonna be the key thing.
Yeah, it's a big one. So, in a nutshell, video may be the biggest thing of the year. That's our first prediction out of the gate. Like, let's see how good it gets, how long it gets, all those bits. You know, I can't wait. Video's so amazing to me. So, let's see how we go.